If you're an ambitious person in your teens or 20s, have you ever experienced feelings of being stuck, lacking motivation, like your heart's not into the thing you know is gonna get you to where you want to go, but you just don't feel it? I've been where you've been. I started making money online at 15 and have been doing so since then, all the way till now at age 18. But during that time, I've been susceptible to ruts, getting stuck, feeling lost, lacking motivation, if you will. So what exactly explains this lack of motivation that I felt for a sustained period of time and that maybe you felt? How did I get out of it? And what are some warning signs you can see in order to avoid it or to escape that rut completely? For me, this actually happened recently in the past year. I graduated high school the very last day of May in 2024. And then over the summertime, when I was free from the shackles of school and didn't have to balance what I was doing with content creation on YouTube with trying to pass all my classes that were a very heavy load and trying to graduate and focus on that and try to yin and yang and balance the two, now that was all gone. But for some reason, for the first 3 to 4 months post high school, with the newfound freedom that I had, the motivation to do what I had so wanted to do and so wanted the freedom to do more of was completely gone. It was like, where was the heart to do what I had so loved to do and so had a passion to do since literally 2 years prior in 2022, when I was not even anywhere close to graduating, but I'd found this passion for content creation and overlapped it with my passion for watching sports. And then all of a sudden it's like, where did that go? I'll give you 3 reasons why you might be feeling this as an ambitious person who may be a teenager or 20-something-year-old, and how you can get out of these and how you can flip them on their heads and turn them into positives for you rather than just straight negatives. The first was that I really didn't know what my why was. And you can take your why as either what you want to do with that specific vehicle or what you are doing it for and who you are doing it for. Typically whys are external of ourselves. So if you have great ambitions, as a young person to retire your parents perhaps, or do good for your siblings, or take your friends to do XYZ, whatever it may be, typically a good why will be external of yourself and in service of and in the blessing of another person, so that can keep fueling you, because you can let your own self down. It's totally human to have that happen. What can be a more solid foundation typically is if we're doing something and being motivated to do that something for others. At that time, I didn't really have a clearly defined why. I found it out later on, but during that rut and lack of motivation phase, if you will call it, that I was experiencing, it wasn't as clear defined. Matter of fact, not even as clear defined. It wasn't defined at all, and that was a problem. And so when I didn't have as much of a flow of idea generation as I had months ago, and when I didn't have as much juice as I had to create, I didn't have a why to fall back on, and I didn't have any reason and any just solid confirmation that I'm working towards the right things. So don't fall into the trap of not having a why, as if you don't even have one right now, just comment below and let me know that you will, starting today, establish one for yourself, even if it's simply written out. Just write it out, and as the Bible says in Habakkuk 2:2, make your vision plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. At any point in the video, be sure to leave a comment on any of these 3 signs. Maybe you've experienced them in your own life, and share your experience and how you got out of it in order to help others. And be sure to give the video a like and subscribe. The second reason for this rut of mine was that I didn't know what type of person I wanted to become. I'm not talking about in the physique sense. I'm not talking about, in the looks department or all of that superficial stuff. I'm talking about the internal nature of who I am and who you are and who you want to become in the future, whether 6 months down the road, 6 years down the road, or anywhere in between that, or even just what kind of habits you want to develop and what kind of person you want to become next month. And the key here is focusing on the inputs of who you want to become, a type of person that does this instead of a person that has. We can't skip all the way to the having part if we're not able to become a person who does the things in order to have the results that we want. So it's not results oriented subconscious priming, it's input focused. And I didn't necessarily have that during school. And ironically, when I had the most motivation for that at that time, I always had in mind, like, okay, I'm gonna do school, getting ahead of it so that I can be able to do this and do this many hours of video editing, and I can commit this many hours a week to content creation. And funny enough, as soon as that was all free and clear, that went away. And so now I didn't have any focus on what kind of person I wanted to become, what kind of content creator did I want to become after that. If you are facing this, make sure you focus on the inputs of the person that you want to become. I want to become a person who does this many repetitions of this per week. I want to become a type of person who studies photography for 3 hours a week. I want to become a person who studies this specific art for 45 minutes a day, and just work your way up. But if you don't have any of that written out, if you don't want to become any type of person, then you'll just become that any type of person. So be careful not to fall into that, and be intentional about having inputs that you strive after so that you can become the person you want to become. If you've enjoyed the content of not only this video but also the various videos I put up on my channel, I appreciate that, and I've got some things for you to check out in the description. Be sure to check out my free newsletter where I take from the wisdom and motivation that I've learned throughout my 18 years and share it with you to equip and empower you to live out your purpose. Also, be sure to check out a free PDF in the description of the 7 biggest mistakes that teens and 20-somethings make that put them off track for their purpose and deter their destiny. Do not regret missing out on those warning signs, let me tell you. So be sure to check those out in the description. The last thing that kind of got me during this lack of motivation phase was not getting excited, not having the juice and the fervor as much as I did when I was balancing the content creation stuff with school. And again, it is so ironic, all these things that I wanted to do and all these desires I had during school, now as soon as I finished and as I got into the months afterwards, they were lacking. It's like, okay, what is wrong with me? I just didn't have the juice for it as much as I did during the school year. And you need to find that sometimes too. If that's something that's lacking, examine if you're facing this rut right now, or if you've had ruts or phases where you lacked motivation in the past. Examine and think, did I really have the juice to do this thing? And did I really have the excitement to do this thing at this time? And could that be a reason that I was experiencing this lack of motivation? And think about it, because you should be able to get excited about what you're doing, right? You don't have to slog away at things that are unproductive and unfulfilling. Those are the 2 keys, right? Because it can be both productive and fulfilling at the same time. That's not a blanket statement to say that every single day is going to start out as pleasant and as exciting as the first day or the day where you're closest to completion of a certain phase or a certain project or whatever it is. But across the board, you should not be experiencing such severe dips that are caused by just you going along with it. Just take a look and see, okay, how can I spice this up? As long as you know that it is for you, and as long as you've examined that it's something that your heart is aligned towards, make sure that you're getting the juice to do that. Make sure that you're experiencing fun, honestly. And I'm not saying, again, don't fall into the trap that every single day should be high, and the first low is a sign to quit. Don't do that, please. But understand that it doesn't have to be unproductive and unfulfilling. When you follow your purpose, it is going to make a way for you in the world, and God will honor the desires of your heart. He literally says in his word in Psalms. So follow that. Am I saying to follow your heart? I just might be.